And welcome to episode 49 of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean, editor-in-chief of the site. And I'm joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelden.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing today, Todd?
I'm good. I was just realizing I haven't had any coffee yet. I should probably get on that.
I don't know how someone would live through that.
Yeah, there you go. It's noon my time. My water
Nice. This is actually my first cup of the day, so.
Oh.
Well, on podcast days, I know I'm going to want one during the show, so I'm just like, I'll just
wait.
Get it. Yeah, just wait and get it when the show starts. And slowly become a human as the episode progresses.
Yeah.
But so last week you were off driving cars and visiting the Irvine office. How was your trip?
It was awesome. I was out in California test driving the new XC90 from Volvo. They actually had two models for us to drive. We had the T8 twin engine, which is it can also run in electric mode, but it only has about 17 miles range in that mode. And then the T6, which is gasoline. And it was a lot of fun. We drove a lot. And then I was down in Irvine in the office with all the guys. And then I flew home and got home late on Saturday. So it was a good time.
Or late on Friday.
Late Friday night.
Yeah.
Early Saturday.
Yep. So welcome back. Joey was in your seat last week, and we talked about gaming. And real quick, this wasn't on the headline, and we hadn't discussed it pre-show, but I sent you that link. I've got to mention this because this has been one of my biggest complaints about virtual reality. So a study's been done that, yes, virtual reality can be very, off-putting because you don't understand where your spatial relationships are. Somebody came up with the unbelievably brilliant idea of putting a virtual nose in front of your eyes. And I was like, that's simple but brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think it would solve a lot of my personal problems with virtual reality.
Yep. Reduces simulator sickness, they say. Interesting.
I'm all for it. Let's go for it, folks. Let's give me a virtual nose. Now, what would be cool, though, is if you get to choose your virtual nose.
Yeah, I was going to say you get a nose job.
Yes, exactly. So maybe you can have a smaller nose, a little bit more petite.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the big topic, of course, for this, the big topic for this week, of course, is we are now 23 hours away from, 25 hours away from time zones. We're some time away from Google I/O tomorrow. Google I/O, that teaches me to try to be fancy. So yes, Google I/O is tomorrow. Unlike Apple events, do you feel like we know nothing of what's going to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, there's been rumors, right? Like not even rumors. They had Android M on the original schedule that went out, and then I guess they removed it. The Photos app apparently is getting revamped, which is awesome. So we have some things like that. We can probably expect Android Wear conversation, especially around the Apple Watch. We're ready for some new devices. But it's almost like these days when Apple takes the stage, you're like, okay. I mean, thanks to a lot of the reporting on 9 to 5 Mac, it seems to reveal a lot of what Apple's going to do. It's like, okay, here's what Apple's going to have in store for us, and then we just sort of wait. And maybe there's a surprise here and there, or like a surprise on how things work, like Force Touch on the Apple Watch, something like that. But with Google tomorrow, it's sort of like, what the heck's going to happen? And it reminds me a bit of Microsoft Build, just what was that, like 2 weeks ago or so? I don't know. Time's flying these days, where we were expecting sort of a lot of stuff, maybe even Windows Phone hardware. And then it was just sort of a lot, but not consumer focused, very developer focused, which, it's a developer conference, so it's fair.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, I'm going into tomorrow. You and I were discussing this yesterday, and I'm sure we'll hear about Android M and all that, but just in general, it just feels like we don't know a whole lot. I for once, I feel like we're going into an event that we will legitimately be surprised by a lot of what is discussed.
Yeah, which is exciting. And, some Google I/Os, I think it was 2013 or was it 2012 when the skydivers came in from the ceiling or from above showing what Google Glass could do, and then they handed it off to like BMXers.
That would have been 2012.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Google I/O can be very exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, and glass is the thing I always point back to. I mean, nobody knew what was coming exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had heard a little bit of rumors and all that, but you know, when they skydived in, you were like, okay,
Wow. Yeah.
that's kind of cool. And now glass is nowhere to be seen. But
And I wonder if they're going to mention it tomorrow, sort of maybe even in passing, if it's the way that we've seen HoloLens from Microsoft, for example. So I don't know. HoloLens.
apologies to everyone. I told everyone not to call me during the show, and apparently they did not listen. Anyway, I don't know. Especially, I agree with you. With HoloLens now out there, it's a bit more. Does Google go back to glass and try, you know, because there's definitely competition on the horizon now, and HoloLens to me feels very much more refined.
It does, especially because it's like powered by, you know, like a full version of Windows 10.
Yeah.
Whereas glass is sort of like not. But I mean, look, glass is now under Tony Fadell from Nest, father of the iPod. I'm not sure, you know, like if they're going to just show a little bit of it tomorrow or just not go anywhere near it because it needs, you know, a couple more years work. That's what I don't know. But I feel like under him, it should be something very cool. I don't know. And speaking of Nest, we should also hear possibly about the version of Android for the Internet of Things, which is apparently called Brillo, codename Brillo.
Yeah,
I really interesting.
There's no way that can be the final name because it's trademarked.
But, right. Although then, you know, Kit Kat, they had that Nestle partnership, but I highly doubt it. But you know, that'll be really cool because apparently it's a version of Android that runs on either 32 or 64 megabytes of RAM, not gigabytes. So obviously not gigabytes, but very little RAM. So, you know, things like maybe a coffee maker and other gadgets that you're going to have talk to the house.
Now that there's an idea I could get behind. You know, wake up in the morning, hit a button on my Android phone, and start my coffee pot
or your watch, right? Like Android Wear. Okay, Google, start making coffee. I mean, it seems totally plausible. And if it's Android, then it's going to communicate a lot better with all the devices that already exist.
Well, we have a question from Sachin Bahal, and this is a question we get a lot. What would we like to see in Android M? I really don't have any big. I can't wait for them to do that things with it at this point.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I feel like the big thing for me was design changes, and that happened last year with Lollipop and Material Design. So I don't know what I want to see with Android M. I mean, maybe it's more of like that sort of Microsoft Continuum and Apple. What do they call it? It's not Continuum, but similar. The continuity, where more of this computer / phone handoff. So for Apple, it's you pick up Safari on your computer or things like that, which is very simple. But also with Microsoft continuity or Continuum rather in Windows 10 and Windows 10 Mobile, as they're calling it now, where you get a full-fledged version just by of this app by plugging your phone into a monitor. I like to see cool stuff like that sort of come, but I don't know if we will. It hasn't been any real indication.
Yeah, I mean, at the base of Android, it's got everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point they're getting more to just the tweaking stage than adding big new features.
Right. And like notifications are great, which is still like one of my huge complaints on iOS. So there's a lot of things I think Android does really well that don't necessarily need polish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe security features. I mean, all these things about reading your face, is smart unlock and stuff like that, which we've seen before from Samsung. It never really worked very well. Maybe we'll see that too.
That's one of those features I'm just like, great, it's something I'll use for 2 minutes and never use again.
Right, exactly. Oh, but speaking of that, I mean, also Google Wallet needs a revamp, and there's been talk that maybe that'll come through, or Android will have its own payment-based system. Besides Google Wallet, but like that uses a fingerprint for touch, so like built into it instead of having sort of like Samsung's Touch ID or not Touch ID, whatever they call their reader, and everybody else having different systems all built into the same Android. And payments with Google Wallet could work the same way. I mean, right now it's Samsung with Loop Pay that they bought, right, for Samsung Pay. So we'll see if there's any sort of native Android support.
Funny answer to this question from Sachin Bahal. How often do you guys use Google Now? The other day, I caught my mother using Google Now.
Nice.
She constantly uses it now that I've noticed it. I'm like, who are you?
I rarely use it. It's funny.
Oh, she uses it all the time. And I'm wondering, because like you, I don't hardly ever use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe this is an age thing. I'm not going to give out my mother's age. She would shoot me. But, up there. But she now uses voice search for everything.
Mm-hmm.
She uses Google Now constantly. And it's been really intriguing to me to watch her as an older person that you would think would be afraid of things like that. She loves it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And she has all the features, built in where it reads your email and gives you your flight data and all that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Which I like. And I use it more when I travel, I should say that.
Yeah, same here. But when I'm at home, no, I just, I type out searches or whatever.
Mm.
And so it's intriguing to me. I'm wondering if maybe that truly is the bridge for the older generations, that, a lot of work is being taken out of the process for them.
Right. Interesting.
So I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
But no, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. John will be up at the event in person. The rest of us will be covering it remotely. So make sure you tune into TechnoBuffalo.com for all of your Google I/O coverage, and we will be covering every aspect of it. And it will make for a long day, but always an interesting one.
Always loved it.
Sachin, she is using it on the Note 3.
Nice.
Let's see here. Another interesting question that kind of relates to the Google Now thing from Sachin Bahal. Which do you use more, Android or iOS, and which Android devices are you currently using? I would say I use iOS more, simply because I use my iPad a ton.
Okay.
And so I think that's a lot of it, is that the iPad is my go-to device for so many things. As for my current personal Android devices, a Nexus 9 and a OnePlus One.
I've been using the G4. I just picked up our international one from the office, which is pretty nice. I like it. I did our hands-on initially. Camera seems pretty good. And then I'm mainly using the iPhone 6 Plus. And I'd say between the two, I don't even know which one I use more. I use them both really frequently. It's sort of like which one's in my pocket, which one is my phone or my hand grab first. For iMessage, I guess, a lot of my friends are on that, so I end up reaching for the iPhone, but it's not because it does one thing better than Android. It's just because I'm getting to iMessage.
Yeah.
And then recently, actually, I gave my wife, we were both coming back from California. She was out there too. I gave her the iPad mini to take home, and I use the Nexus 9. And I really like that because it's a larger screen and all that. So sometimes we kind of go back and forth. She's an Android user herself, so she uses the additional user on the Nexus 9, which is always a nice feature. But she ended up with my iPad, and I was using the Nexus. So,
interesting question from Null Gaming. We do have a post coming up on this, and it boggles my mind. From Null Gaming, what do you think about that quote effective power unquote text that reboots iPhones? I've gotten a few, but I use an Nexus 6. My question is, who sat around and figured this out?
I know, it's insane. Somehow it's out, and I feel like we covered it in the post, and I wrote it's probably a hilarious prank for if you're in middle school or high school or something like that to your friends on iMessage, but it could be pretty dangerous for someone who needs to use their phone and is in an emergency. Say you send it to your mom and you're like, haha, she's not gonna have to figure it out until I show her how, and then her car breaks down and she can't text anybody. I don't know. Of course you can place a phone call, but I don't know. It seems like a bug that needs to be fixed sooner than later, although it could be kind of funny.
Yeah, but I 100% agree with you. You know, I hope that I don't get one, but you have to wonder about the person sat around and went, okay, so now if I do 3 of this symbol,
Yeah.
and then this, oh wait, no, okay, that didn't work. All right, let's try 4 of this symbol.
I know it's such a string that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody dug in the code or something and found something. I don't know, but it's just like in video games sometimes when people find things, I'm like, how did you sit around and think?
Yeah, like how long did that take you? And I guess just so we can explain quickly to people who don't know what we're talking about, there's a bug apparently in iMessage where if you send a specific string to somebody, it crashes their iMessage or their phone, depending on like where you are. If it's in conversation view, I guess you can't open messages, and if it's in the message, you can just sort of get out of it. But I guess it's a quick crash.
And I will just simply tell you, we're not going to tell you the code so you can't send it to people. It's not for the fact that I have no idea what half those symbols are.
Right. It's Arabic in some part of it. I don't know if the whole thing is.
I don't know, man. It is
like
so
bizarre. Some of it says power. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, so we won't be telling you the code because we're scrupulous that way. It has nothing to do with the fact that we don't understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a very odd situation that I don't fully grasp. But yeah. Moving on down here from Sachin Bahal, what is each of your favorite conference trade show to attend or watch each year, and why?
I know what yours is going to be now.
What, Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Well, does that really qualify?
Sure. Trade show, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, I love going to Comic-Con. I was going to say I really only attend one a year, but yeah, now I attend Comic-Con each year. No, for me, I don't tend to go out to that many. I mean, Todd, you go to all of them.
Well, I don't do like Google I/O and WWDC. I do like I do CES, IFA, Mobile World Congress.
Yeah. At least you get to go to fun places, even though you don't get to see them.
Yeah, right.
Although we were able to work it this year that you got to have a little time in Spain.
Right. Well, I had the weekend. That's right.
Yeah, which was nice. I was thrilled for you. That's, a lot of people, oh, you guys get to go to all these exciting places. We don't ever see them.
Yeah. It's like, especially for IFA in Germany, you're at the hotel, taxi to the conference center, at the hotel, taxi to the conference center, fly home.
Yeah. Well, and at CES, I mean, yeah, we usually go out as a team for one good meal, but otherwise it's like, guess we'll go to the buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like food.
My favorite would have to be probably Mobile World Congress, though, for that reason. Spain's beautiful. I love Berlin. I'm not a fan of Las Vegas, and the food is amazing. So I guess
how can you not be a fan of Las Vegas, Todd?
Just not.
Don't worry, neither am I. But Vegas is. I've never been to Vegas for anything other than work, and that's the only way I can ever imagine myself going to Vegas.
Yeah, me too. Now I've had friends say like, "Oh, we should go to Vegas for this and that," and I'm like, "No." I've been 8 times now.
No, I have other places. I mean, I love New York. I wouldn't mind just hanging out in New York City, but yeah, Vegas I can't ever see myself just hanging out. Right. Not gonna happen. As for watching, though, I mean, say what you will, and I'm sure somebody will scream fanboy at me. I love watching Apple events, mainly because they're so well planned, and there's also none of there. Yes, there's the occasional superfluous. Okay, fine, this person's been up there doing a demo long enough, but there's none of this awkward scripted conversations.
You don't have a chorus come up on stage.
Yeah, there's no singing, there's no dancing, there's no awkward scripted conversations. I'm looking at you, Samsung. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Watching a Samsung presentation is my own idea of a personal hell.
That's funny.
You would think they would go online after an event and go, okay, what were the comments like? Wow, people really hated this. We should never do this again.
Yeah, except let's do it again.
And then 3 months later, they do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you though. I like Apple's and I like Google I/O and I like some of Microsoft's depending on what they're talking about. Like Build, I thought was really well done. It was just, a lot of it was like,
exactly, and long, very long. Yeah, but no, Samsung events are just painful to watch. They're just, oh, good grief! I would give anything not to cover Samsung events. Believe me, we still will. This is just my personal dream world.
Yep.
It's where Samsung no longer holds those events. But from Dennis Langston, I'm going to assume I know what this question means, Dennis. Have you heard anything new about Google Fiber? I think they're just continuing to work on the rollouts in the cities they'd already announced.
Yeah, I think so too. Unless we're talking about Project Fi, which is the wireless service that Google's rolling out with, it's using Sprint and T-Mobile.
Right. No, I think he's talking about the gigabit per second.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything new either. Just slowly rolling out.
No, I think they're just continuing to work on. Now, I've heard a really interesting rumor, and this is what and I wrote an article on TechnoBuffalo eons ago about this, that Google was not getting into Google Fiber to become a gigantic ISP. They were trying to light a fire under the behinds of other companies.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It has worked, I think, extremely well. There is a significant rumor that my only cable company here, you all know I live in Kirksville, so the only cable company here is a company called Cable One, which is a small company.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors that they're working on 1 gigabit per second.
That's awesome.
And sure enough, out on the road, I've seen a lot more cable trucks than I normally see, and I've seen big spools of cable coming in. And the rumor is that 2016 they're going to launch 1 gigabit per second. And we were one of the we fought really, really hard to be the initial Google Fiber town. I went to town meetings and everything. We were really trying. And with multiple colleges here, with a major hospital here, you think rural farming community, but we're actually fairly technologically advanced here. So if Google Fiber, if this is a result of Google Fiber going out and getting its stuff done, awesome. This is what I always thought would happen.
Yeah. And I think it's a good point that, these companies are like, if we don't do something, if we don't actually change, then Google's just going to come in and do it. So
exactly. So these companies are having to race ahead of Google now.
Right.
And deploy as many places as they can, because they never know when Google will go, hey, guess what?
We're here.
We're here. Yeah. So I think it's going to be, this is what I always thought would happen, and I'm thrilled it's happening. From Sahal Raja, do you think they will show an update on Project Ara? Man, I don't know. That is such an odd.
Yeah.
Who really controls it?
Situation. Yeah, I'd love it if they did. We're still sort of waiting for that soft launch in Puerto Rico, right? I don't think that's happened yet.
It's not happened yet.
Yeah, so once that happens, maybe we'll learn more. I don't know. I'd love to hear more on it. It's just, we do have 2.5 hours earmarked on the calendar. So for this keynote, it could go anywhere, up to that mark. So plenty to talk about.
Good grief. I'd forgotten it was 2.5 hours tomorrow.
Yep. Have lunch on the table here.
Exactly. Yeah. Real quick, let's let people in behind the scenes. What do you do to prepare for one of these events when we're covering remotely?
For me, definitely I'll have coffee tomorrow, and like I did today, and probably a bottle or two of water and some food, or I'll have just eaten, because it's tough. You don't know when you're going to be able to get up next. Yeah, because we work as a team, usually on Skype, and we're saying, okay, you write this news, and I'll write this news, and you write this news, and it goes very quickly. And thankfully, most of the time, before you know it, the 2 hours is pretty much gone. But it can be tough, and we gotta. I'm not saying we're like in the trenches, but
no. No, we're not trying to say that at all.
It's a pretty crazy 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes.
But yeah, so about a half hour before the event starts, we start our Skype group chat, and that way it's quicker for us to yell out, who's free, who can take this. Okay, I'm on this, you take that. And what we do is whoever is currently writing a post mutes themselves because we don't want to hear 4 keyboards going at any time.
I was using a mechanical keyboard forever. Now I'm on the little.
Oh, thank goodness!
So you guys can all relax.
You and John watch and your dueling mechanical keyboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm the same way. I get a cup of coffee right before the show starts. I know that will last me 45 minutes to an hour. So then I have a bottle of water ready to go as well.
Yeah.
I typically don't. I'm not, despite what you might think looking at me, I'm not that much of a snacker during the day, so I don't worry about food. So
I
am. I have breakfast when I get up. I cannot believe I'm discussing this on the show. I have breakfast when I get up, and then I have like a snack in the midday, and that's pretty much it.
Strategy.
Things you never wanted to know about the TechnoBuffalo staff on this week's TechnoBuffalo Show.
We should do one of those shows. What I had for breakfast today.
Oh, that could be fun during the holiday season when there's nothing else to discuss. From Sahal Raja, do you know MKBHD? I don't. Todd, have you ever met him?
No. I've been at the same events as him. I haven't met him.
We see him around. I know John knows him. They're friends. But honestly, I sit in a corner and just people come over and say, "Hi, Sean. I'm so-and-so." Nice. Leave me alone in my corner. I have work to do. From Sachin Bahal, and I'll just say right up front, no, I don't. Do any of you guys use Periscope or Meerkat, and will you guys use them more since they both just came to Android? The Irvine office is using them.
They love them. When I was at Periscope, they were using, and probably more on Android.
Yeah, I don't see the interest in this whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not big on sharing that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's why I don't use Snapchat much. I use Instagram. Like I'll send a picture of my dog or the beach or something like that. But that's about the extent. And even on Twitter, I'm really quiet. So,
I talk more on Twitter just because I have it open all day.
Right.
So I randomly comment on things as they pass by. But no, I'm not. I haven't used either. I don't feel a need to use either. It's just not.
Yeah, it comes down to like I don't. Maybe like next time I'm at an event, I would do it, but I don't do much. I think that like my audience would want to see like, on the weekends where I'm like gearing up my fishing pole. Like I don't think my audience is following me to see that.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm going to get a bag of popcorn.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit here.
Or like barbecuing. I don't know. I assume like next time I'm at the the LG G5 event, maybe.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
In our everyday lives, folks, are very boring. We just this little area you see me in, this is where I am for 10, 11 hours a day. I don't move from here. Todd, every once in a while, I know you get wild and you get up and you walk across the room.
I know. Brandon, yesterday, one of our colleagues, we've been competing back and forth on steps taken, except we're both sadly going nowhere. And at 5 o'clock, I'd gone 1,200 steps. And doctors suggest you get 10,000 in a day. So,
okay. I've been trying really hard lately. I have a treadmill across the room. I've been trying really hard lately, at least once a day, get up, walk over and walk on it for just 10 minutes, just to get some sort of exercise.
Right.
And I knew that was nowhere near 10,000 steps. I knew that. So I decided to finally look up, and everyone's like, well, steps vary, depending on your height and all that, yada, yada.
Right.
It still works out to somewhere around 4 miles.
Yeah. That's not bad.
It's not horrible, but I mean, when I jump on the treadmill for that 10 minutes, that's 0.56 miles is how far I go in that 10 minutes.
Right.
So I'm not getting up and going over 8 times a day. I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. The 10,000. Oh,
yeah, 10,000 steps equals a little over 4 miles.
huh. Yeah, I'm not hitting that.
No, me either. It's always interesting when I come back from my annual vacation to England. I've lost 12, 15 pounds in a week. That's because I do nothing but walk.
Yeah.
That's all I do when I'm in England is walk constantly. But man, I don't even know how we got on that.
Fitness tracking. We were talking about Meerkat, and then we don't go anywhere and walk around the apartment.
Oh, this is one of those episodes. From Sachin Bahal. Hey, Sean, have you got your shipping notification for your Pebble time since you were a super early backer and got for $159? I saw this question when we first got in here. I went over to my email and checked. I have not gotten my shipment notification today. I know they said the 27th was the day those would go out. But I have not seen a shipment notification yet. And this plays into another question from Sachin Bahal. Who out of the TechnoBuffalo staff is going to be reviewing the Pebble time? And you guys should also make a video directly comparing it to the Apple Watch and an Android Wear device. Videos, they probably will. We're just waiting for the ones to arrive out in Irvine since they do all the videos. As for who's going to do the written review, we really haven't discussed that yet. I honestly thought I just kind of assumed it was going to
be me since I did Apple Watch and I bought the Pebble time too.
Yeah, I knew you'd bought a Pebble time as well, and you got in on the early backing as well on the second round of the early backing. So I think it also depends on who gets theirs first.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. We've got a bunch ordered from all the different offices, but we'll just have to wait and see who actually gets one early. From Kirkayuki, thoughts on the Asus ZenFone 2? Todd, you were writing this up this morning.
Oh, no. We were covering the possible ZenFone 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I don't think it is going to be it. It was sort of this mid-range ZenFone pass-through TENAA.
Oh, the ZenFone 2 is the one that just was announced.
Yeah, that just just came out in the United States. It looks like a nice phone. I honestly haven't spent much time with it aside from briefly at CES, I believe. But it's out in the office. They have it, so I'm sure we'll have more coverage on it. But I like the price. Seems like a pretty decent device for the price.
Yeah, I like Asus products.
Yeah, me too. And you have this range of you have the Alcatel One Touch, the Idol 3. You have the ZenFone 2. You have OnePlus One. There's a nice range of Android devices at a low cost. Good for everybody. What's that?
Just from Sachin Bahal. Are you still setting up pedometers?
Yep, we're talking about this again.
Yep. For those that may not know the joke, a long time ago, mispronunciation was made of pedometers as pedometers, and that led to a whole series of bad jokes. Anyway, from Chase Kelvington, does Glass have a feature? Is it dead? Will we see it at I/O? I don't know. I think
it was certainly dead, in its current form. We know that so much, but I think Google used it as a learning lesson, maybe inappropriately. Probably shouldn't have made it a consumer product if it wasn't really ready. I think it has a future in a different form. We know, like I said, Tony Fadell is the guy who co-founded Nest and father of the iPod, as everybody says. He's heading it up now. I have a lot of faith in that guy. He seems like he knows what he's doing. So let's see what comes out of Glass. But I don't think we'll see it. That ugly thing again.
No, I think the ugly version is gone.
Yeah,
and I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think we will see something similar to Glass. Will it necessarily be called Glass? I don't know. Honestly, I think the name Glass has a bit of a stigma attached to it now.
Definitely.
So I could see them calling it something else, but there will be people like Todd and me who will be at our keyboards going, it doesn't matter what they call it, it's still Glass.
Yeah. Still looks stupid.
Still looks stupid. Still privacy concerns.
Yeah.
I think it was a learning experience, I think, for the entire technology world, because they didn't think about the ideas of, okay, how are movie theaters going to react to this? How is wearing it into a biker bar going to go over?
Casinos everywhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of things they simply did not think about. And I think that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying that they are a problem that they didn't think of this. You can't think of every single possible variation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if this ever goes anywhere.
Yeah.
From Null Gaming, do you think Windows 10 Xbox One streaming will be available on Windows Phone or even HoloLens?
It should be. If I might be mistaken, but I thought it was going to be available for Windows Phone in some fashion, but I could be mistaken. At least to tablets and stuff like that, we already know. And HoloLens, I think it should work because they've said, HoloLens is just like a full version of Windows 10. So you can pop open a browser, pop open a video, presumably stream a game, right? But I don't know.
Correct. Breaking news just in from CNBC Tech. Apple responds to reports that sending a specific string of characters to an iPhone can shut down the phone. Quote, "We are aware of an iMessage issue caused by a specific series of Unicode characters, and we will make a fix available in a software update," unquote.
All righty. There you go.
So
they had said earlier today, I guess, via Twitter, someone said that they had been working on it, but good to know.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. It should be a fairly simple fix, I would imagine. Right. But we'll have to see how long it takes them to get that going. Mm-hmm. From Sean the Man 34, what have you returned recently, Todd?
Did I return anything? Well, I didn't return it, but I replaced the neon green band on my Apple Watch with a black one. And here's the thing. I had ordered one already, but news hit last week when I was in Irvine that they were out in the stores. So I went and bought one, and now my black one that I ordered should be here soon, and I'll have to return that. So there you go.
I love the fact this has become a segment.
Yeah. That's this week's What Have I Returned?
Yeah. Sean the Man 34, you are officially our asker of what has Todd returned. I expect to see that question every single week.
There you go.
From such a Bahal, have any of you guys seen Pitch Perfect 2 yet? I've seen it and it was funny. I have not had a chance to see it yet.
I have not seen it. I loved Pitch Perfect 1, obviously, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll probably wait till it's out on video, to be honest, though, or rental, and it won't take long these days. I mean, it's like almost like 2 weeks later it's available in Google Play or something.
Yeah, I know. Anymore, I'm just like, it takes a lot to get me to the theater.
And I'm probably going to buy that one, too, because I bought the first one. So
I already pre-ordered it on iTunes.
Oh, perfect.
From Chase Kelvington. Is Spotify going to be able to compete in the video world? What about podcasts? Will this rebrand make them more successful? I don't know.
I don't know either, but it can't hurt. I mean, for $9.99 a month, I don't think they're changing the price, right? And just adding stuff. I mean, it does make it sort of more desirable when you're going out there and picking, a music service, whether it's Google Play Music or Rdio or whatever. So,
yeah.
I think it's sort of like let's fill up our stuff as much as we can before Apple tries to enter the game with a lower price, so that they can turn around and say, well, Apple might have it for $7.99, but for $9.99 you get movies and music videos and podcasts. So I think that's probably a smart move.
From Sean the Man 34, missed the beginning of the stream, so I may have missed the discussion. Todd, how's the Apple Watch 3 weeks later?
Well, I'm still wearing it, which was my answer last week. I like it. The software update that hit last week, I finally applied. It seems to be a little better. I was joking last week how every time I sat down, it reminded me to stand almost. And I was like, I was just standing. What are you talking about, Apple Watch? And I'm still wearing it. So I think that's something. I like it.
I think that says a lot, actually.
Yeah. So I appreciate, again, I have it really limited on notifications. So I have, Hangouts and text messages, and then sports scores, I think. I think those are like the main ones I get. And it was nice having my flight information there going back and forth from California, but I did not use, and we've talked about this before, it as my boarding pass. I sort of always rely on the paper just in case.
Well, the thing is, when you I always have a checked bag. So when you go up and you check your bag, they're going to give you the paper tickets anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, fine, I'll just keep using paper tickets. I don't care.
Yeah. I just don't want to be that guy when, everybody's just like, oh, I just want to get on the plane. And, you're like, beep, like it's not registering. And you're like standing there and everybody's like, who's this jerk with the Apple Watch? Like, why don't you get a paper ticket like the rest of us? So until everybody has them and everybody's used to that, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd say that's actually one of the worst things about it so far, though, is like when I don't want it to be a conversation piece and it becomes one. So, for example, on the plane, I was sitting there and the person 2 seats down was like, what do you think of the Apple Watch? And I was like, I like it. And then when I was up at the bathroom, this lady leans over and she's on the aisle. I mean, she's on the window of that one. So she's leaning over people like, yeah, what do you think about the Apple Watch? And all these people are sort of looking at me like, what do you think about the Apple Watch? And the one question I'm getting is it worth it? And I'm like, well, for me, it was worth it. Is it worth it for you? I have no idea. I literally just met you. I don't know what your use case is, but it's expensive.
No, that is, I've come to the point now on planes where I try to not reveal what I do.
Yeah.
Because it's a topic that everybody has an opinion on.
Yeah.
And you'll get asked about, what do you think about this phone? Oh, so I have this phone. What do you think of it?
And I'm creating my website. How do I do that?
Yeah. I'm on a plane. This is one of the few times in my life I can sit and watch a movie.
Yep.
Don't talk to me.
Yep. Exactly. So in that case, I wanted to like almost take it off. Just
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, if it's a short haul flight, I'll talk to you all day. I don't care. Hour flight, whatever.
Whatever, right, yeah.
But if it's more than 90 minutes, which means I can get a movie in, we're not talking.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, well, that is going to bring this week's episode to a close. As always, we appreciate you joining us. You can find us on the iTunes store where you can search for the TechnoBuffalo Show, and we do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help out the show. We're also on Pocket Cast. You can subscribe via RSS feed. You can also find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Anywhere there are podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. Until next week, I'm Sean Ani. I'm the editor-in-chief of the site. I've been joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
Till next week, take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.